Well, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, what a terrific sleep I had. I needed it. I dead to the world. It was awesome. Slept like a baby. Tina didn't even want to wake me up today, but gotta work, gotta earn, and that's the thing. This video, I'll give it that minute to let people log on, but it's always the same reoccurring theme in Canada. And it's institutionalized here. Institutionalized as a lot of loyal followers and those who've stuck with me for a long time are now clearly seen. And I'm very proud of so many I've moved, but millions are not moved. And that comes from since 1867 and onward in Canada. It's a spoiled reality of self-glorification and narcissism of Canadians in society. And you can say, how dare you, and whine and cry and wipe your tears. You're not going to convince me or those loyal to me and my party and what we're trying to bring forward. And freedom of choice. People say, oh, my freedom of choice. Your freedom of choice ends at the idea that you have no responsibility and absolutely no accountability for the choices you make. When you sit there and believe that you have fundamental rights and have no obligation to everybody else when enacting those rights, meaning you can cause all kinds of damage to all of those in society around you, you're a problem. You're a problem for any society. And Canada, that is the crown. That is absolutely from top down in Canadian society since absolutely 1867. That is the basis, everybody, of the soul of Canada. Our Constitution is removed of all responsibility and accountability entirely. That is the soul of the nation of Canada. No responsibility, no accountability. In essence, that is the Canadian citizen. That's how you've always been defined. That is you as a country. In class structure, the customary crown law, you elect a government to run with no accountability and zero responsibility for their actions. They make the second and ultimately, absolutely, that slave third class pay and be responsible for all of the bad decisions, all of the horrible consequences, because there are no checks and balances. Now that goes downhill to today, what we see in society over and over again. The bullshit charter, which is never enforced. The Crown decides when and where it's to be applicable, how it's to be applicable. They will usurp every court, and they've taught Canadians to do that. I look at the lunatics, and I say it over and over, and I want more, many more to leave me, those who follow me, who cry in their soup every time I make a video. I don't want you. I don't even want you in my political party, because there's a core of us that I'm very proud of, from the First Peoples to all the Canadian citizens that I trust who've been with me for many years. And I'm very, very happy. And the growth of so many of you, that makes all of this worth it. It really does, for my loyal friends and followers who stick and stay and make her pay. You know Canada's broken, and you see it as a fundamental reality of society. If you've joined me on the quest for understanding constitutionalism and understanding this country, you can now clearly see it. All the works I've done and what I've rolled out, I know so many of you see it, but there is a bulk of always never-ending newcomers who come and they don't understand, and they go, oh, you're a Debbie Downer, oh, just make me happy, tell me what I want to hear, and reinforce the concept that I don't have to be responsible for my choices or my actions. Sorry, Canadians, that's not what we're about. We're unlike any political movement ever recorded in Canadian history, and ever going to be. That no, Core accountability and responsibility come in freedoms. You can have them all, but you will accept all responsibility and accountability. And that is the platform we're bringing forward for the first time in all of Canadian history, as it's been absent throughout. It's the soul of your nation. It's the essence and basis of who Canadians are. This is always seen in people, lunatics, who grandize themselves and believe that somehow they're God. They're God, and that whatever they say and believe, that it's from God and they've been empowered by God. Ooh, big clap. This is absolutely every politician we've ever elected in Canada. They may not start out that way, but like Dennis Woodrich said, very excellent comment, Dennis, that they quickly gravitate to that. They're quickly bought in to that first class. It's now they have all kinds of wealth at their disposal. Want not, waste a lot, doesn't matter. You're forever to be in a wealthy situation. You don't have to earn it, understand it. You don't even have to apply yourself. It's just there. The glory of socialism with all the benefits of capitalism and zero responsibility and zero accountability. A pathetic nation indeed. Canada needs an overhaul. And now this convoy, this we don't want to be vaccinated, we want our freedom of choice, accept it, we don't care. The problem is that's not how it works. We're in a absolutely fully public, fully socialism public healthcare system where your choice comes at my expense. And for all of those doubting it or still propagating, still lying, the overwhelming minority of unvaccinated Canadians, clearly, right now, today, still today, you are the overwhelming majority of the ICU cases crippling our very weak and shitless healthcare system. Because it's socialism, people. Socialism doesn't work. Our healthcare system is extremely limited. If you need surgery, you get cancer, a wide range of problems, or you need a transplant, look out. Anti-vaxxers, the unvaccinated surplus in ICU, crippling our healthcare systems across Canada, or putting you off for those critical surgeries, which is already a problem in our socialized medicine. It's not two-tiered, it's 100% publicly funded. At the high end of long COVID, the average expense is at the neighborhood of $174,000 per person. That is a condominium mortgage for a young Canadian today in a dump, in a bad area of town. That's what a new Canadian on average faces. And we're paying that out, shared as a society, every time an unvaccinated hits the ICU. Then there's the hospitalization, the learning to walk and talk and breathe again after in the long COVID. A huge expense that can last upwards of 6 months. And you're telling me, and the average unvaccinated's telling me, that freedom of your choice. What about the freedom of my expense? What about that? I have children, I have a family, I do what needs to be done. I can't afford your grotesque costs. I can't, and I won't. I'm a physical conservative, not a fucking liberal. Not a liberal. A real, true, down-to-earth, physical conservative that has the mind and capacity to add up your costs and say, no, I can't pay you that kind of fucking money. I can't work for the rest of my life where my daughters suffer because you need your freedom of choice at absolutely my fucking expense. I am pro-choice at the line in the sand of not at an unimaginable expense to the everyday hard-working Joe Jane who's got to pay for your fucking ass. If I haven't made it clear enough, I'm making it clear today. If you think that you're entitled to upwards of $174,000 to draw from the Canadian system anytime your body goes into COVID, you can kiss my fucking ass. Move on. This is the video. This is as clear as I can make it. You want the choice, accept the cost. That is called reasonable. But Canada, it's not your fault. This is the design of Canada. This is the crown. This is that which you don't understand. This is the soul of the nation that is defined in constitutionalism in Canada. 1867, 1982. You want someone to blame every provincial and federal fucking loser politician because they are the basis, the definition, the absolute socialist, taking all of your money and getting all the perks of capitalism while you suffer on the cross of working each and every day of your life. Or you went out on a limb, established a small business, and like the Titanic as it's defined in Canada's crown customary law, there are only enough lifeboats for half of you. So all the small businesses, you will be sacrificed, you will be murdered and destroyed for that first class whenever they want to, i.e. your lockdowns, restrictions, and business closures. Welcome to the Titanic and Crown customary law, alive and well today in the soul of the nation, Canada. This is the problem. This is what the PCC is going to bring forward. That's what we do. If you don't understand this, you don't want to gravitate to it, and you're a lunatic from either the Liberals, the NDP, or Conservative, beat it, because we're coming for you. The PCC is coming to destroy you. Like independence of America more than 250 years ago, we're coming for you. Your glory to the crown and the idea of divinity of the politician, where you believe you're a god, or you're a lunatic in a narrative swearing that God's empowered you, God talks to you, and you're some kind of super citizen, you can shove it up your fucking ass. We understand what we're doing. We're bringing a path forward. I'm sorry to swear, people, but we're at the time where it's time to trim the fat. I've been going for months and months trying to get rid of all the lunatics that we've gravitated here, because I went to freedom rallies that have nothing to do with freedom, but absolutely tyranny of a minority to make the majority pay. You can kiss my ass. We're physically conservative. We don't subscribe to liberalization at all expenses paid. No, the credit card doesn't belong to you, and it doesn't belong to Justin Trudeau. Is Justin Trudeau exploiting the pandemic? 100%. But we can only fight so many battles, and we must always draw the line at freedom of choice versus all expenses paid. There is no credit card of socialism that you get. Not in this party. That's not us. That's my video. Share, share, share. Loyal friends and followers, this is what you must understand. You must always fight the oppressor in all its manifestations. And if you think social conservatism is anything but liberal, I got something to tell you. It's called the Independence of America, Boston Tea Party. And for all the liars who come forward and try to justify their means and somehow all expenses paid, they're just another shit-talking liberal. Disguised. Some of them say they're with Jesus Christ, but they're the first to act and carry out in a manner that is anti-Jesus. Nothing of Christian value. They're liars, and they quickly gravitate to Old Testament rhetoric that has nothing to do with the life and times of Jesus Christ. And they're a radical fringe group, and we won't take it, we won't bring it forward, we won't let that narrative go forward. It is liberal, and we're not doing it. Thanks, that's my video. Bye now.